Christ paid a debt on the cross when he lost his breath, went to the grave, then rose on the third to end the sting of death. These are the steps guaranteed delight in heaven. We'll see our friends. In the meantime, pain is the plan for what you call sanctification, forming us daily to the image of the Son, split with desires for unification. We long for glorification.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for checking out this video today, where I'm going to explain a little bit of the background and the origins of my latest song, This Is My Hope. It actually starts back in a conversation that I had with a dear friend. Actually, he was my best man at my wedding back in late February or so. I think it was the last week of February on a Tuesday. And in that conversation, we were just chatting about a mutual friend. And my friend has cancer, and at the time, I think we thought that the cancer was progressing rapidly enough where we thought maybe he was going to pass away, within a relatively short period of time. And, by God's grace, he's still here with us. And, but at the time, it felt a little bit more urgent. So I had learned that my friend wanted to visit with me and Heidi. And so God provided a way for us to go down and visit, which ended up being the first weekend of March. And so thankfully we were able to get down there and have sweet fellowship. I hadn't seen him in years, and this was a family that I lived with for a while, his wife and kids. And so we had dinner together, we had we sang together, we read the Bible together, we prayed together, and had sweet fellowship. And after that visit, I had, being that I'm kind of into writing music, I had been thinking, well, great, this is where I can use this melody and this beat, because this beat that the song goes to, I had already been kind of sitting on for some time and thinking about how do I want to actually merge the theme of Ecclesiastes with the gospel. And I had already been thinking about that. And so this occasion of a friend of mine nearing death was the perfect occasion to really write about our hope in light of death. And I think oftentimes when we're facing death, sometimes we might be tempted to wrestle with the meaning of life and the purpose of life, and that might be a good thing for you. But if you don't have the gospel, then it can certainly you can certainly be left feeling like life is in fact meaningless, which is a lot of what the theme of Ecclesiastes is about. And so I was able to write my first set of verses for this song, and the point of that part of the song was to really get at what I would say to somebody who's facing death. And maybe this is a good challenge for everyone here. If you have a friend and you have 1 minute to say something to your friend who's facing death, or a family member, what all would you say? What word of counsel or encouragement would you give your friend who's about to die? And that was the aim of what I was shooting for in this first set of verses. And in fact, I thought the whole song would actually be about my friend. But after I wrote that first set of verses there, I kind of got stuck. I didn't know what else to say. I kind of felt like I had said everything I wanted to say. And so I kind of just put the song on hold for a little bit because I couldn't figure out what else to say. So fast forward a couple of weeks, and then Heidi passes away. Obviously, very unexpectedly, very suddenly. And after we get through the funeral and get through the service, and I get through just taking care of various other arrangements around the home and other administrative stuff, I get back to the song. And as I'm getting back to the song, I'm realizing that the word of encouragement and counsel that I gave my friend just a few weeks ago was really a word for me. And so you'll see that in the song. Right after I speak to my friend Mike, I make a note that little did I know that I was talking to myself. And so the word that I was giving to my friend, of course, was for me. And so you see that there progress in the song, and then the song goes on to just transition now to a word that I could speak to Heidi. If I could speak to her right here, right now, what might I say? And the aim of that section there is to really just try to express the anguish and some of the difficulty that I was dealing with as close to the event of her death as I can get it. And what was going on in me, like in real time there at the time. And then the song transitions to a prayer that I try to just really pour out to God what's going on inside of me. And then I end the song with another proclamation of the gospel. So I start the song with I think is me really counseling my friend with the gospel, and then proclaiming the gospel to myself, but even to the listener of the song. And so the song has the gospel as bookends, and everything in between is just really the wrestling of life and in the midst of pain and hardship and things like death. And so that's the origin of the song, and the aim of the song, the purpose of the song, I hope rings clear as you listen to it. And that is this, that our hope in death is the gospel of Jesus Christ. And because Jesus rose from the dead, not even death can shake us. Not even death can shake us. And so as I'm writing this video and doing this video, one thing And so as I'm writing and doing this video, one of the things that recently came to me in my own quiet time was 1 Corinthians chapter 15. If you're familiar with that text, Paul is describing the resurrection, and he's going into great detail about the resurrection of Jesus, and contrasting that to the point that you and I are going to face death someday. And we can face death without any fear because Jesus is risen. And so there's this long chapter about the resurrection, and he's being very open about the reality of our impending death. And then he concludes it with this refrain, which I'll leave here for us today, which says this: the sting of death is sin, and the power of sin is the law. But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. And here's the refrain I want you to pay attention to. Therefore, my dear brothers, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourself fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. And so that's the aim of the song, if you will, that even in death, we have hope. And we have hope because of the gospel. And the gospel is that Jesus died, that he was buried, and he rose again to life. And if you believe that, then, as Paul says here, let nothing move you. Nothing can move you. Nothing will move you, not even death. And so I pray that rings true for you. And if you know somebody who may need to hear that, if this song resonates with you and you have a friend or a family member that may benefit from hearing this song, please pass it along. And I hope that it encourages you in that way. Thank you so much again for listening today, and I hope that you enjoy the song. So just go ahead and click the button. I think it'll be like around here or so. And until next time, have a good day. Bye.
My hope in pain in the face of death is the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. Yeah. This is my hope.